Hello, everybody. In the second of our two parshiot, Bechukotai, in the famous section that is known as the Tochacha, the lengthy rebuke of the Jewish people should they fail to keep the mitzvot, we should also be focused on that before coming to discuss the punishment. The Torah tells us that in Bechukotai telechu, if the Jewish people walk in the way of Hashem, all sorts of blessings will follow them. Amongst them is material blessing. V'natati gishmechem be'itam, your rains will come in favorable times, in beneficial favorable times. V'natana ha'aretz yivula, the earth shall yield forth its bounty. Ve'etz hasadeh, the trees of the field, Yitain Piryo, will render their fruits. Rashi is apparently bothered by the fact that once the Torah tells us V'natana ha'aretz yivula, that the land shall yield its bounty, the land would include the legumes, it would include the grains, it would include vegetables, it would also include the trees and their fruits. So why does the Torah then have to specify thereafter that Eitz HaSadeh Yitain Piryo, that the trees of the field will yield their fruits? Rashi, therefore, based on the Medrash, is presuming here that we have to have the understanding that there is something added that would not have ordinarily been included in the blessing of a Natana Haaretz Yivula. So Rashi cites the Medrash, Elu ilanei srak. Ilanei srak are trees that are not fruit-bearing. And therefore, in the days to come, when the Jewish people are deserving of this beneficent blessing from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Eitz HaSadeh Yitain Piryo, even the trees that by their nature as we have come to know it, do not bear fruit, they will come to bear fruit as a reward for our loyalty to Hashem. Rav Mordechai Eliyahu Zatzal raises an interesting question. Why is that so important? Once the earth is yielding a full bounty for the Jewish people, why do we need to have trees that heretofore were not fruit-bearing, bearing fruits? If we have plentiful plums, apricots, peaches, apples, and so forth and so on, oranges, limes, lemons, and you name it, why do we have to have the non-fruit-bearing trees suddenly bearing fruit in the future? And Rav Mordechai Eliyahu explains, perhaps that we have to view this not simply in terms of we will have more quantity of fruit. God can provide all that we need and then some, even if he stuck to the trees that were always fruit-bearing. But what will happen is that the Jewish people will now have a broader field of cause to give thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to more deeply appreciate his abilities in terms of what he provides for us in the world. It will broaden our horizons, if you will, as opposed to simply increasing the quantity. And that is a bracha. And I think it's actually something that we can be inculcating in our lives even now, to try to see the blessed hand kiviyachol of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in so many of the little things that we don't seem to pay attention to, that we take for granted. The classic case of the sun rising every day, waking up feeling okay, and so forth and so on. Yes, we sometimes complain, but we don't always give the proper thank you to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for everything that works well for us, where we feel that we are blessed. And sometimes we take these things for granted. We should already be trying to broaden our horizons in seeing things that affect us and that are all around us, that are God's way of giving us blessing. Hatov kilo chalu rachamecha, v'hamerachem kilo tamu chasadecha. The cause for thanksgiving to Hashem is endless if only we open our eyes. And in the days to come, ve'etz hasadeh yitain priyo, may we merit the blessing that we really have our eyes open so that even the trees that don't bear fruit are suddenly bearing delicious fruits for us to give further thanks to the Ribono Shel Olam. Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach.